Everyone loves a bonus, and us gamers are no exception. That's why those lovely game developers, especially those from the olden days of gaming, like to throw in the odd bonus level now and then. And we're here to celebrate some of the most memorable to have ever graced our screens. Before we get too far into things though, let's have a look at what a bonus level actually is. They tend to show up after or during regular levels, they're not required to beat the game, they're generally hidden in some way, and most importantly, they give players the opportunity to rake in buckets of points, gain extra power-ups or lives, or collect some other artifact of great importance, like maybe something chaosy or emeraldy, if you catch my drift. They're also distinct from hidden levels, secret rooms, and Easter eggs. That sort of stuff is bonus content rather than a bonus stage. A very important distinction between types of bonus, that. Right then, let's get going before the word bonus starts to sound weird to me. Oh, no, never mind, too late. I'm Peter from TripleJump, and here are the 10 best bonus levels in video games. Number 10. Sonic Mania. The 2D Sonic the Hedgehog games are synonymous with bonus levels. The first game had trippy rotating maze things with psychedelic backgrounds, Sonic 3 and Knuckles sent players off on a breakneck journey around a checkered sphere in search of balls, and Sonic 2's half-pipe is probably the second most iconic bonus stage of all time. However, and call us ingrates with a recency bias if you like, we think that Sonic Mania's 3D UFO chase nailed the perfect balance between fun, spectacle, and difficulty, and have chosen it to grace our lovely list. Inspired by the Sonic CD bonus stage and presenting players with a delightfully retro 3D Sonic to control, these levels see the spiky hero chasing down an unidentified flying object that's racing ahead of him along an abstract 3D course. Quick reactions and a fair amount of practice are required to stay on track and chase down the slippery saucer before Sonic's rings count down to 0. Of course, Sonic's goal in these bonus stages, as with most of those that came before it, is to retrieve the Chaos Emeralds. Once these are all collected, Sonic is usually granted the power to turn super, but then these bonus stages become obsolete. You know what, I think I'd rather have the bonus stage. I relinquish my sparkly yellow powers. Number 9. Paperboy. Originally released in 1985, Paperboy was a hit game in which players took on the role of a young lad on his bicycle, getting his first taste of the money-driven grind his life would inevitably become. One of the earliest instances of a hit game giving players the opportunity to take part in something fairly mundane, Paperboy is remarkable in that many youngsters probably paid for their copy of the game using their actual money from a paper round. The aim is to successfully deliver papers to local residents by throwing them at their doormats or mailboxes. As well as a decent throwing arm, the successful deliverer of outdated news media will need pinpoint bike control, as the streets are absolutely packed with hazards, from wayward RC cars to passing biker gangs. Sounds pretty stressful, right? Well, not to worry, because upon the successful completion of a round, our intrepid tabloid-chucking protagonist will reach the bonus stage, an impromptu obstacle course with cool ramps and sweet jumps, as well as some handy targets to lob any leftover papers at for a few extra points. Best of all is the small crowd of adoring fans waiting at the finish line, complete with signs declaring their admiration. Wow, they never treated paperboys like this in my village. Number 8. Crash Bandicoot. Even without all of its bonus levels, Crash Bandicoot is a fantastic game, and the fact it contains so much extra content just makes it all the better. Hidden in question mark crates throughout each of the standard levels are tokens shaped like a character's face, and if Crash is able to collect 3 bearing the same visage, he'll instantly be transported to a special level starring that character. These all consist of side-scrolling platforming sections where Crash must be guided through various obstacles in order to make it from the left-hand side of the level to the right. Breakable wooden boxes, sturdier metal ones, and crates filled with explosives stand between the player and victory, and one false move can send Crash, or Coco in the Insane trilogy, falling to their doom. Most of the levels are Torna bonus rounds, taking place up in the treetops. However, players can also find a handful of Embryo stages, which will see them transported to a spooky cavern 7, as well as 2 Neo Cortex versions, which will grant the player keys to secret areas. Wow, that is a lot of extra content. You might say that Naughty Dog went the whole hog. That's the name of one of the levels you unlock with a key. Never mind, I'll see myself out. Number 7. The LEGO Ninjago movie video game. While LEGO games are no strangers to an entertaining bonus stage or two, there's something about this one in particular that makes it stand out. Perhaps it's because you spend the entire game striving to save the city of Ninjago, only to destroy it with unfettered glee right at the end. Most of the runtime of the LEGO Ninjago movie video game is spent playing as one of the ninja protagonists, traversing the regular stages, solving puzzles, and beating the bricks out of a near-endless horde of LEGO shark people. It's fairly standard and entertaining LEGO game stuff. However, the aforementioned bonus stage really gives you a chance to let your hair down. Or take your hair off, which I suppose would be the LEGO equivalent. The stage is entitled Destroy Ninjago City, and puts you and a friend in control of one of 2 LEGO kaiju with a mini version of Ninjago City sprawled before them, just waiting to be torn apart by your mighty blocky rage. We call it a bonus stage because it gives you a chance to earn bucket loads of bricks before the game opens up again for exploration and collectible gathering, and we call it fun because you get to wreck the city you just saved while listening to the little LEGO screams coming from below. Number 6. Diablo 2. If you're the sort of person that when on a long drive and seeing a field full of cows, feels the need to alert the whole car to the presence of bovine pals, then you are going to love this next entry. For a while, there was a rumour that the 1997 dungeon crawling RPG Diablo 1 contained a secret cow level, with some players claiming that repeatedly clicking on one of the cows in the town hub area would summon a portal to said beefy bonus stage. Blizzard assured the world that no such level existed, but they weren't about to let the idea go to waste and introduced Moo Moo Farm in 2000's Diablo 2. To access Moo Moo Farm, players need to get their hands on Wirt's Leg and combine it with a Tome of Town portal in the Horadric Cube. Doing this summons a portal to the secret cow level, an area filled with bipedal polearm-wielding cattle known as Hell Bovines, as well as a boss called the Cow King, which has a chance of dropping the Cow King's leathers upon defeat. Since the turn of the millennium, Blizzard have included cow levels in a number of their games, so clearly they have no beef with whoever started the rumour. That was a bad joke, so let's move on. Am I right? Yes. Yes, I am. Number 5. Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2 propelled fighting games into the mainstream, taking arcades by storm and introducing us to an iconic cast of world warriors. Players choose from the roster of 8 and embark on a journey around the world, with each fighter having their own reason for entering the tournament and proving themselves as the best Street Fighter on the planet. Sometimes though, the likes of Ryu and Ken apparently get tired of fighting sumo wrestlers, masked bullfighters, and electric fellows with green skin, and decide to wind down by fighting a car instead. Probably the most well-known bonus stage in gaming, this automobile assault is a one-sided affair, with the innocent vehicle apparently just hanging out at the docks before getting beset by a gang of world-class martial artists with fists and feet capable of crushing metal and tearing off fenders, all in the name of earning a few extra points. Imagine coming back from the shops to find your car wrecked by a muscle-bound hooligan in a karate gi. One day I'd like to see one of those Street Fighters make the mistake of picking on the wrong car. Maybe a Transformer, or perhaps the Hornet from Daytona, USA. Ha, yeah, what are you gonna do now, Ryu? Number 4. Stunt Race FX. If there's one thing that's always been missing from racing games, from simple old-school top-down races to modern efforts with photorealistic graphics and hundreds of real-life vehicles modelled meticulously inside and out, it's that bit between races where the racing car goes to sleep in the big racing truck and gets safely delivered to the next venue. Back in 1994, early 3D SNES game Stunt Race FX gave players the opportunity to experience just that. kind of. You can definitely drive the trailer anyway, but instead of cruising down a peaceful highway, you're expected to guide the six-wheeled monster through a series of tight gates. Appearing at various points in the game, these bonus stages were a chance for players to earn additional time for the upcoming challenges, but with the trailer's sheer size and difficult handling, and the fact that players unused to 3D driving games were suddenly given a completely different camera angle, earning those valuable seconds was no easy feat. Interestingly, the few people who did get great at this trailer truck wrangling bonus stage would grow up to become the development teams behind the likes of Euro Truck Simulator and Mud Runner. Of course, I can't actually verify this claim, and in fact I did just completely make it up, but it's a nice thought nonetheless, isn't it? Number 3. Super Monkey Ball. Considering that almost 50% of this list so far has been taken up by animal-adjacent entries, we could perhaps conclude that a foray into the world's fauna makes a bonus level more likely to be better than most. After all, we've had bandicoots, cows, and spiky blue hedgehogs, so clearly our hypothesis is sound. And now we have Super Monkey Ball to back it up even further. The majority of Super Monkey Ball consists of guiding your chosen simian around crazy courses by tilting the scenery. Despite its simple premise, the game can become very taxing, with precise physics, tough time limits, and devious level design. Don't worry though, because the bonus stages are here to stop you from completely tearing your hair out. After entering one of these banana bonanzas, players will be presented with an easy course and no goal, with the aim being just to roll around collecting those prized plantains until the time runs out. That's not to say the bonus stages don't get tricky, and picking up the remaining handful of bananas as the announcer counts down the last few seconds on the clock might get your heart rate up, but it beats falling off the course over and over again. You know what I'm saying? Number 2. Cool Spot. For a video game that was basically a vehicle to push a marketing mascot into the eyes and hearts of impressionable children the world over, Virgin Games' Cool Spot was actually a thoroughly decent platformer. The game featured the titular Cool Spot, who is the red circle from the 7-Up logo given arms, legs, cool shades, and an attitude. Those who chose to pick up this playable soft drinks advertisement would find themselves guiding the cool but cute corporate mascot as he negotiates tricky platforming, fires fizzy projectiles at enemies, and rescues his fellow Spots who've been imprisoned by unspecified captors. Between all this platforming and spot saving though, players are occasionally treated to the most refreshing bonus stage in video game history. That's right, Cool Spot's bonus stages take our protagonist inside a bottle of 7-Up, where he can bounce around on bubbles and pick up collectibles while avoiding pesky naval mines. We've all been there, right? It's a really hot day, you get yourself a refreshing carbonated beverage, and you think, you know, the one thing more refreshing than drinking this right now would be to somehow shrink myself down and get inside with all the bubbles. Well, friends, Cool Spot lets you live that dream. I will be checking my bottled drinks for mines from now on, though. And number 1, Streets of Rage 4. Streets of Rage 4, while a thoroughly modern example of the beat-em-up genre with its gorgeous visuals and layered, impactful fighting mechanics, is also a callback to the previous games in the series that came almost 30 years before it. Original protagonists and enemies return, the direction of the game is faithful to its predecessors, and even the music has a delightfully 90s feel. The most pronounced sense of deja vu while playing Streets of Rage 4, however, comes during its bonus levels, and this is mainly because they are literally short encounters lifted from Streets of Rage 2 and hidden away in arcade machines. It's not enough to just find one of these arcade machines though, you also have to power it in some way. You might think this would entail finding a switch or a plug somewhere, but nope, you power these babies by finding a nearby taser-equipped corrupt policeman, beating him senseless, and then using his discarded weapon on the dormant arcade cabinet, zapping it into life. The 4 bonus encounters on offer are the mini-boss fight against Jack, and full-blown boss fights against Zamza, Abadid, and Mr. X with Shiva. And just to top it all off, the snazzy new Streets of Rage 4 sprites will even get a pixelated makeover, specially for the occasion. Oh, Axel, those pixels really suit you.